Hi, I'm Jen.
I'm Mike.
Brian.
They always get you guys confused.
Yeah.
You know what?
I'm Brian.
I'm
That's Mike.
I'm Jen. Okay. And as Brian, people always spell your name with an I-A-N.
Oh, it's Y.
Right? It's B-Y.
B-R-Y.
B-R-Y-A-N. Brian.
Why?
Right?
Yes. Always ask yourself why.
Anyways, okay. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to. I thought this would be kind of cool because these guys just started to learn the second form, right? Chum Kiu. And everybody already knows this is a shifting drill. They call it seeking the bridge form. But basically, one of the key components is learning how to shift your weight. Okay? So, I thought it'd be really interesting. They're learning it in sections, small sections at a time. I think that's the best way to learn it. It's the easiest way to learn it. So I thought, well, since they're starting to learn it, I might as well have you guys start to learn it so you can practice too. But the first part, the first important thing is the shifting. Okay, so before we even get into the form, let's practice what it should look like. Okay, so these guys are going to show you a little bit. So first, get into your form or into your stance. Right, your ceiling top stance, and this shifting is important that you maintain your structure while you're shifting. That's the hardest component, so that you're just not shifting for the sake of shifting. Right, you have to know when to shift and why you're shifting and how to shift. So first we start here, okay, and then what I want them to do is the first part. I want them to shift their weight completely to their left side, and do it almost like you're doing Tai Chi. It's very slow. I want you guys to do this very slow, right? So that the movement is done really slow, so that you really start to feel the weight, okay? And trying to maintain now your left side, the shoulder, the hip, and the heel on the left side. You should feel like one pole down that side. It's going to make your other side light. Okay. Then what I want you to do is I want you to bring that foot and pigeon toe. See? This pigeon toe? It's almost like I'm very narrow. My feet are my toes are in. Okay? And then when I pigeon toe with this foot, right? Because my weight is over here now, right? I can do that. Then when I pigeon toe, that's going to swing this other side. I'm going to shift my weight now to the other side. And I'm going to drop this pole here to my hip. Shoulder, hip, heel on this side now, right? And that's going to allow me to bring this foot over, okay? So now I'm to my left in a left foot forward fighting stance on this side. I've shifted to my left, okay? Now from here, I want to bring this foot. All my weight should still be on my right? Now I'm going to bring my left foot. I'm going to go back to this pigeon toe. See, it's very narrow. I'm exaggerating, but this always coming back to this middle point. Then I shift my weight to my left, and then that frees my other leg to shift. So now I'm facing my right. Okay. So practice like this, slow, so that you understand that you're coming first to pigeon toe, then you're swinging the other foot around. First you're coming to pigeon toe. I'm centered. Then I shift my weight slightly to one side so I can swing my leg up to the other side. Okay? So I want you guys just to practice coming to this pigeon toe and then swing the foot around. Okay? And I'm doing almost all the work on my heels, not on my toes and my feet, on my heels. So I pigeon toe, I shift my weight, and then when I shift again, everything is done pretty much on the heels. Okay? Some people, they say 50, a lot of people have different ways of teaching this, the shifting, but this is how I think this is the way Hawkins teaches it, and I think this method it's a smooth transition, okay, and it fits into all the concepts, the core concepts that I've been teaching you guys, the shoulder, hip, heel alignment. You also notice we keep the low ceiling. Right? This is another important thing. Right? When they shift, they're in a low ceiling. So when they shift to pigeon toe and go to the other side, okay, that head should not bounce up and down. Okay? They shift to the other side, right? The head becomes very stable. Okay? Also the shoulders. Shoulders should be square. I always train like I'm holding a glass of water or an egg. Holding an egg on top of, you're balancing the egg on top of your head, and you're balancing 2 eggs on each shoulder. These are the 3 points that you have to keep level at all times. So that now when you're shifting, you can't turn your shoulders or the eggs are going to fall, right? So you have to keep these eggs balanced. So now when you shift to the other side, not only are you keeping a low ceiling, but your shoulder level and your head level always the same. They're very balanced, right? Okay? So this is an important drill. Now, this looks easy, okay? And but it really isn't. If you want to do it right, it takes a lot of concentration, it takes a lot of practice, because engaging your hip into your structure, into your pivoting, your shifting, okay, that's the hard part. All right, so when Mike's going to shift, he shifts, and Brian shifts, go to the other side. See, you have to maintain this entire structure that we've been creating, right? The Selim, from the Selim Tao practice, okay? The facing structure. So, how can you practice this? Okay, how can you practice it? The easiest way, or one of the ways, is you know how we always practice gunslinger, right? A gunslinger right, a gunslinger left, or a gunslinger straight, right? Gunslinger straight, right? So when you're doing, when I practice this, when I shift to this side, to this side, see my hip? I lead with the hip. I lead with the hip and the foot, and hip and foot, and then I can fire the gun from here. If I want to shoot to the other side, I shoot with my right hand, okay, and that's going to swing this foot, right, and swing my hand to the other side, so I can fire the gun. That way you're not doing this movement and just turning, but my hips are not engaged. Right? I want my hips engaged. I want my hips engaged, so I can fire. I fire with my hip, okay? So one of my seniors over at Hawkins, Wally, he likes to just slap his hip. He punches, he slaps his hip, and when he slaps his hip, that turns him. He slaps his hip, and boom. That's the way he taught it to me as well, this way, right? So I just slap the hip. But this is also just like firing the gun to me, okay? I fire the gun, okay? I shoot. Got it? So this is a good way to practice that drill, okay? And it's not how fast you can do it. It's about how much control do you have of your body structure through the entire movement, right? So when you're firing, you can do this extremely slow, as long as you're doing it completely right, and you constantly have complete control of your body structure, right? And you're using your whole body together as one unit. That's the most important part. It's not how fast you do it, how fast you do it. This is nothing, okay? So practice really slow, really get the hang of that drill, okay? Right. Once you can do that, then start practicing your first form, okay? So we're going to practice. We're going to do, like I said, we're going to learn it, they're going to learn it section at a time, in small sections. So I want you guys to practice too, so that over the course of the next couple weeks, you guys are going to get the entire form, okay? So from here, okay, you start off same way you start your first form, right? Okay. Left over right, turn your hands, right? So one punch, two punch. Okay. Now this part, I want you to go, see my hands, they come up, they open, like the blades. I want you to picture like the blades of the hands going out and your elbows coming in. So like you're pushing something heavy off you, right? And at the same time you do this, at the very end, okay, I want your wrist to come upwards. So 1, 2, right? Then 3, right? Now this is where the shifting comes in. So make sure you take your time, right? You shift your way, shift, turn, right? Then you're going to go to the other side, turn. Okay? Then you're going to go to the other side one more time. Really control your balance, right? Then you're going to wave the hands out. Okay? Then turn the palms up. Right? Now you're going to take your right hand and you're going to come to your bicep and check. And as you do this, your other hand, your left hand, is going to come slightly like an uppercut, like an up. You're going to come up. Okay? That's one. Then you're going to do it again to the other side. Two. See how I come up? Then the other hand, three. So I do this 3 times. Okay? Then I'm going to turn my wrist. Now I'm going to go palm strike. So I go on top of the other hand and I palm strike. Right? My other hand comes to the center. And the other hand rises up the other hand and palm strike. That's 2. And I do this 3 times. And on the 3rd time, I strike, but my other hand goes to my hip. Okay? This. Now from here, I'm going to lawn salve. So you're going to want to come over to this side. So from here, you're going to take the footwork. Make sure you can see the entire body, right? I'm going to shift my footwork. Okay? Come to the other side, and I lawn salve. So this lawn salve becomes like a barrier. Should be nice and strong, right? Don't forget you're engaging your hips. Okay? Then from here, I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to put it right on top of my forearm. Okay? Now from here, I'm going to use that footwork again. So from here, I'm going to bring my foot to this triangle step, right? And then I'm going to face the front. And I bong sao. Okay? I bong sao and the other hand goes a wu sao. Okay? Now this is important that your heels and your toes are roughly along the same line. So I don't want you to shift, right, and be like this, trying to bong sao straight, right, or like this, right. The feet should be on the same plane, and the heels should be on the same plane. Okay. My hips are facing slightly this way, and my shoulders too, but I'm facing front. Okay? So practice. Then from here, I'm going to go back to back to lawn sao, to the same side, right, with my hand to my hip. Okay? And I'm going to do this 3 times. 1, this is the second one, palm to the forearm. Okay? I shift, keep the low ceiling, keep the feet on the same plane, and I bong sao. Okay? Make sure you don't reach with your bong sao, your wrist. Okay? Just bong sao. Okay? Everything's square. Then I'm going to shift again. I'm going to do this one last time, palm to the forearm. I shift, face the front. That's the 3rd time, right? Okay? Then I'm going to come back to lawn sao position again, right? Now from here, I'm going to take my hand, my fist, I'm going to put it on top of my forearm. Right? Then from here, I'm going to punch straight out, and when I punch straight out, my other hand comes to my hip. Okay? Now from here, I'm going to use my footwork to face me to the front. My body's going to face to the front. My hand is going to open, right? And I'm going to punch straight out. And make sure when you do this, I look to the left. I look to the direction I'm going to strike. Okay? And I strike with the knife hand of your hand, right? The blade of your hand. Then I bring the hand back to center. Okay? Then I'm going to take my other hand and slide it up. And it's going to follow the same angle, but on the other side of your jaw. Okay? And pull it to your hand, to your face. Right? So I'm striking my own jawline. Right? And then I circle the wrist, stop sign, come up, Kien Sao, pull to the hip. Got it? So that's the first section that I want you guys to practice and repeat over and over again. The most important thing is just doing this with the hip, doing this with the hip. Learning to use low ceiling, not floating, right, when you're doing this. As soon as you float, you're going to lose, you have no root, you're going to lose. Okay? So now that you guys got that, now when should you bong sao? When do you do it? It's important that you do this, that you learn this. Okay? I kind of look at it like a wrestler sprawl. Okay? Come here, Mike. Okay? So he's going to get on the ball. Okay? Just like if I go to take him down, right? Mike is going to sprawl his hips down. His hips go down. Okay? Go to the side so you can see his hips. Yeah. right? This is where we beat him up. But his hips are down. See? He's like a bow, right? Backwards bow, right? His head here, see? His hips down. Like that, okay? Right? So that's a sprawl. See, his body is, his middle is leading, okay? Now, the pressure from his hips to the ball, okay? He feels the pressure. The ball is also attacking him, right? Because he's compressing the ball, so the ball wants to push him back into him. He feels that, right? When he feels that, now, come to the front, okay? He's going to come at a little bit of an angle. He's going to shift. But when he shifts, okay, he still has to attack, his energy has to still attack center of the ball. Even though his body is shifted. Okay, go to the side, see? You can see he's one hip down. Okay? Right? But he cannot let go of the center of the ball. If he goes the other way, right? Yeah. Okay? You got it? This is a really important concept. Okay? If your shoulders and your hips shift together, then the ball wins. The ball wins. It's gonna sweep him off the ball. You got it? So it's really important that you guys understand that when you're doing this and you're applying pressure, and there's pressure being applied on you, that you don't shift so that when I'm completely sideways, my shoulders and my hips are not facing the center of the ball now. That's when I lose my balance. Right? I have to attack the ball center. I'm attacking the center of the ball right now. So now when I shift, I'm still attacking the center of the ball. I face the center again. Now I shift the other way. I'm still attacking the center of the ball. Right? So I feel always the center of the ball. Right? I'm not allowing the ball to sweep me off. Okay? I'm chasing the center. Okay? So now, how do you apply that? All right? So now, these two are going to pressure test their bong sao. So, Brian, get into a bong sao. All right. Now, I want you to pretend like Mike is the blue ball. You got blue balls?
Not lately.
Not lately? Okay. All right. That's good. That's TMI. They say TMI, right? Too much information. All right. So here he's a bong sao. Okay. So Brian's got a good bong sao. Okay. And what I want you to do, Mike, is just put a little bit of pressure. Okay. Now, see how Brian, to relieve the pressure on that bong sao, he's doing what? He's going hips forward. That's just like me doing this to the ball. It's the same thing. I'm going hips forward. Okay? He's just standing. Right? Now, he can handle that pressure with his body. That's the most important part. Handle the pressure you feel in your bong sao, in your arms, your third stick. Handle it with your body structure. The structure that we've been developing all this time, right? Now, there's Indiana Jones here. There's a pressure here, right? Between the two arms. You have to keep the pressure constant. Brian cannot push and he cannot give. He has to keep it constant. Now he's going to keep attacking the center, but he's going to slightly shift as he's doing it. Yeah, that waves Mike off. Okay? Get it? Right? So, do it again. So he bong saws. Right? His skis in. He's handling the pressure. Now, from here, he's not going to take this pressure off, and he's going to keep it constant. That's the Indiana Jones. And now he's going to slowly shift. Yeah. See? Because what happens is, if Mike if he pushes into me, and I bong saw, right? And then what happens is, if I go like this and I shift, but I go, see my hips? They're retreating. See? When I retreat like this to shift, I shift. See, Mike wants, he he feels like I'm leaving on his arm because my hips are retreating, then Mike wants to get in. He wants to rush in. Okay? And that can be, and so you don't want that pressure to become less. I also don't want to become too much, because if I push, he gives me pressure here, and I push too much, right? And I'm pushing my hand forward now to stop him, right? Then I can't recover. As soon as he lets go, see, I can't recover. Okay? I'm too committed, right? So you don't want to do that either. I always tell you your third stick, elbow to the hand, it's just a listening device. Okay? It's just you don't want it. You want it to be on, but you don't want it to be active. The muscles in your arm. Okay? You just want to think of it like he pushes, right? And I stretch my shoulders, my body, everything, my hips, everything stretch. That's how this bong sao gets power. Then I use my body structure, my hips. Okay? And then once I'm here, right? Now when I shift, right? But I'm still facing my center. See, come here. Get behind me. Get behind me. Over here. Yeah. So they can see it. Okay? So from here, Mike gives me pressure. Right? First I take care of it with my body, both sides. Okay? Now from here, I have the Indiana Jones. Okay? Now I shift, but I'm still even though my hips are shifting, my footwork is shifting, I'm still attacking my center. See, now he's no longer facing me, but I'm facing him. Okay, come over my shoulder. This is so important. That's how come I'm showing you from different angles. Come over here a little bit, right, so that you can see over my shoulder. Oh, no, over here. Come behind me. Yeah. So he pressures into me, right? First, I take care of it with my body structure. Now there's a pressure between us. I don't let that pressure off, right? And now I shift. And when I shift, you're going to see that I'm still facing Mike. But see how he's turned? Right? That's what I want. I want to see his daylight. I want to see his new glasses. Okay? You got it? So when you're shifting, you have to practice that. Okay? And when you're doing the form, you have to understand that yes, you are seeking a bridge. Yes, sometimes you have an opponent and he's over here, and you really have to commit and turn. You have to commit and turn to face him, right? Because there's no bridge. So I seek a bridge. He's up, his hands are up, right? I see him and I seek a bridge, right? Okay? But so that's different, okay? Because there's no contact. But when you're applying the shifting to your chi sao, it's very important that when we do this drill, right, and then he punches, my bong sao, right, when I do the shift, see, I'm facing his center. All right, I'm facing his center. Right, I'm not doing this. And he punches, right, and then I shift, right, and I turn my shoulders and my hips, and everything turns. But see, I'm not facing him anymore. But he can attack me. Okay. Another thing you don't want to do is when I do this, and he punches, and I shift. When I shift, I retreat the hip. Yeah. Right? It's hard to recover now from that. Okay? So that's a very important you practice the Indiana Jones concept. Okay? And maintain your structure. So it's very important. I know this is a lot, but if you're going to start the second form, you have to understand this part. And this is we're only scratching the surface. You have to practice, keep practicing, keep understanding the gunslinger concept, right? And turning your hip. Understanding the shifting of your hip, right? And for you to shift from one side to the other side, you need to come to a neutral stance almost. For a split second, you're in a neutral stance like this. Then you have to shift your weight to one side so that you can free the other side to shift. Okay? So practice like that. Later, then it'll become smooth, it'll become faster. But like I always say, you only want to practice as fast as you can maintain perfect structure. You always want to strive to achieve that. Okay? And that's it. I also want to thank everybody for all the donations. You guys all know that my car engine blew up. Right? That's a long story, but it ended up where my car now needed a whole new engine, and it was going to be thousands of dollars of repairs, and I decided, you know, my car's not worth that much, so I decided to just junk it and then take the money, take my money, and also your donations, and also my students have also helped out. I'm going to pool all the money together and go and get something, I don't know, for a couple $1,000s, go and pick something up. So I really appreciate that. It's going to help a lot, so I can keep getting to work. So
No Crouching Tiger flying around.
I can't fly yet. I'm sorry, guys. You
Working
know?
on it though.
Yeah, the whole running on rooftops and so
It's all
yeah,
about
and
the
trees. I can't do that yet. All right, maybe that's lesson 10 or 11. Then maybe we'll get there. But, so I really, yeah, third form. There you go, Muji form. Yeah, but practice that. Practice your Chum Kiu form up to that point, and then we'll just keep moving, keep learning, until we learn the whole thing in pieces. I think that's the best way to learn it. Again, thank you guys very much for being very supportive. We got a lot of changes that we're going to build on the website. There's a lot of stuff I got to do that we're going to do. But it's just going to take time and money. That's the bottom line. But I'm just having a really great time teaching all of you guys and watching also my students grow. Right? That's for me. That's what I get out of it. It's gratifying for me to see them grow and to learn and start to get it. You see the little lights go on, and you know, sometimes, right? So practice, all right? So practice, and we'll see you guys next week. Happy New Year to you.